Alright guys, this is a review I've been wanting to put up for a while. Just real life's been getting in the way. I've been wanting to talk about the new Fox TV series, Gotham. And like I said, I actually wanted to put this up 3 weeks ago. I really like Gotham. I think it's a great series. Gotham has a lot of elements that I like. And at the same time, though, it has its flaws. Let's rewind a little bit, okay? Years back, even before the New 52 came out, years back, pretty much after Smallville had ended or was in its last days, there was talk about doing a Batman series. The original idea was actually a series about Arkham Asylum. It would be a drama series set in Arkham Asylum featuring the psychiatrist in Arkham, and would often have people dressed up as their psychotic Batman's Rogues Gallery. Like, you'd have a guy in there, like you'd have a guy in one cell who would be the Riddler, and another guy in another cell who would be the Scarecrow. And the big thing is that, like, episode 1 was going to be similar to Arkham Asylum, the video game. Batman was going to drop the Joker off, and the non-insane Harley Quinn was the new psychiatrist at Arkham, and the plan was that she was going to start doing psychotherapy with the Joker, and the Joker was going to slowly lure her to the dark side to where she became psychotic and became Harley Quinn. And that got to the we're talking about it phases, and then it stopped. Then they decided, we got a better idea. Let's make a great comic book, Gotham Central, into a TV series. What is Gotham Central? Think Law and Order or CSI meets Batman. That's basically what Gotham Central, the book, is. It follows the lives of the various well-known characters and detectives from the Batman series, like Detective Montoya. And it shows them dealing not only with regular criminals, but with the super criminals that inhabit the DCUC. Sorry, just the DCU. And occasionally in the book, Batman would show up. Like, Batman was their last resort. Whenever they couldn't take down somebody like Mr. Freeze or the Joker, that's whenever they would begrudgingly have to call in Batman, because this was a threat that the Gotham City Police Department couldn't handle on their own. And so that's what the book was about. You know, you bought the book because you wanted to read about the detectives and them doing their detective work, but Batman was smattered in just enough to give it a new twist, to give it new flavor. And that's originally what the series was planned to be. Was Gotham Central, the comic, was supposed to be a TV series. And they were going to hire an actor to actually play Batman, who would be more of an occurring role. Like, if it was a standard, 22 episode season, you'd probably see Batman in about 6 or 7 episodes tops. You know, Batman wouldn't be there all the time. And I could have lived with that. I would have been ecstatic for that, because it was a new take. We had a new Batman TV series that doesn't focus on Batman, but you know he's there. But they didn't do that. Instead, they wanted to focus in on something else. They wanted to make it more of a crime drama, less Batman. Well, that's a great way to shoot yourself in the foot. They wanted to focus in on Jim Gordon's first earliest days in the Gotham City Police Department. They wanted to show Jim Gordon as a fresh-faced homicide detective in Gotham City. Once again, I still could have done this. This still could have worked if they would have made Batman a recurring character. If they would have based this more on Frank Miller's Year One. Batman Year One, you know. They didn't do that. Instead, they did with what I thought that I worried they were going to do. They set the show up where it starts off, Jim Gordon's first case for Gotham City's police is to investigate the murder of Thomas and Martha Wayne. And shock and awe, that's the big lingering that's one of the big lingering plots that goes throughout the entire series. Is they're trying to figure out who Thomas and Martha Wayne's killer is. Spoiler alert, if you're any bit a fan of Batman, in most continuities, like Batman the Brave and the Bold, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Comics, the Christopher Nolan movies, Batman, the person who kills Thomas and Martha Wayne is a hired hitman by the name of Joe Chill. Like, the only continuity that I think of where it wasn't Joe Chill was the Tim Burton movies, where it was the Joker, before he became the Joker. It was Jack Napier. That's like the only one I can really think of off the top of my head where the killer of Thomas and Martha Wayne was not Joe Chill. And I have a feeling that's who it's going to be in this continuity. Is it's going to turn out that they're going to find Joe Chill, and this is going to be Joe Chill. That being said, I still like it because I like what the build-up they're doing with Bruce. I like that he's curious. He wants to figure out who killed his parents. He wants to figure out why his parents' company is so corrupt. He's becoming more involved. He's watching more news stories. He's investigating. His room is littered with all kinds of blueprints and evidence and stuff like that. He's thinking. He's becoming the detective. He's becoming the world's greatest detective. You know, it's showing his steps, his progression. It's also showing him more withdrawn. And I love the actor they chose to play Bruce Wayne. For a child actor, this kid sells the role. Because in the first 2 episodes, this kid looks and acts like somebody whose world was shattered. And that's the truth. Bruce Wayne, the kid who plays Bruce Wayne, the actor who plays Bruce Wayne in the series, I really want to see him go on and do other things as he gets older. I hope he goes on and he becomes a good actor because his portrayal of Bruce Wayne is great. He starts off as the shattered kid. He starts off becoming more withdrawn. He is becoming, you know, he has the upper crust way of speaking down. And I know that this is a kid, this is a child actor. You know in real life he doesn't talk like that. But yet he can control himself to talk like that. Even though this kid's like, 10, 12 years old? And that's really great. I love this child actor. Then we move on to the other characters. The actor who plays Jim Gordon. I like the actor they chose to play Jim Gordon. I think he's a pretty decent actor. He does a good job in this series. He's the one we have to follow. I kind of wish he'd grow in the mustache. Like, I wish that, he would decide, like in the next couple episodes, I wish he would, decide to, go, I'm thinking about, he'd go, Barbara, how do you think I'd look at a mustache? I wish, he would actually, slowly over time, the real-life actor would grow in a real mustache as season 1 wraps up and season 2 begins. We start to see him grow in the familiar Jim Gordon mustache. That would be really cool. But they're not doing that yet. And then we have the actor who plays his partner, Harvey Bullock. I don't care for this version of Harvey Bullock. My favorite Harvey Bullock is the dinosaur cop. You see, my favorite interpretation of Harvey Bullock is the one who doesn't trust Batman. He's the one who is very old school detective. He's the one who will be willing to bend, and if nobody's around, break the rules in order to get his perp. He believes in the justice system, and he believes in the justice system, but he knows it's flawed, and he will try and sidestep it as best as he can to get what he wants. He's not afraid to pistol whip a perp. This Harvey Bullock, you can see elements of that, but they're going with the more modern, corrupt Harvey Bullock. And I don't care for corrupt Harvey Bullock, because it makes him less sympathetic, and that's something that I never wanted, because I like Harvey Bullock. really, of like the entire Gotham City Police Department, Harvey Bullock was my favorite. You know, I liked Harvey Bullock over Jim Gordon, over Renee Montoya. Harvey Bullock was my guy. And to see him playing the corrupt, more modern Harvey Bullock, it kind of disappoints me. However, that does not take away from the actor's performance. The actor playing Harvey Bullock does a fantastic job with the character. He gets that he's supposed to be a corrupt cop. He gets that he also breaks and bends the rules. He is grizzled. This guy looks like he has seen stuff that would turn your hair white, man. You know, Harvey Bullock is that. This guy has that 1,000-yard stare. You know, Harvey Bullock has been on the case. And that's what this actor brings to the role. And it's so good. I really enjoy that too. Then we get to Alfred, played by the son of the third Doctor in Doctor Who, Jon Pertwee. This is Jon Pertwee's son. He is a psycho. Like, I'm not kidding. Jon Pertwee, you know, the third Doctor's son is nuts. Like, he's like, there are scenes in this series where he's like willing to like he almost beats the shit out of Bruce. And it's like crazy. You're like, damn, Alfred, don't mess around. And it kind of scares me, you know. I'm like, man, Alfred's kind of psychotic. But then we get to my favorite then we should get to my favorite character in this entire series. The one character that I keep tuning in to see. Because believe it or not, they've gotten into the rhythm. It's, you know, they get to the basic police procedural every week. You know, it's some lunatic serial killer-esque deal that Bullock and Gordon are looking after. You know, they're trying to hunt down. And most of the time, I kind of tune them out because I don't care if you guys are hunting the goat, or I don't care if you're hunting the balloon man. You know, those aren't what I really tune into. What I tune into is I tune in to see the Penguin's rise to power. The actor playing the Penguin does a fantastic job. Better than anybody else in the series. This is a guy who talks very polite, always dressed well, but you see his actions, you see what he does. This guy looks like he is crazy. He has that psychotic streak in him. He's got the crazy eyes. He savagely beats guys to death in this series. Heck, at one point, he hires hitmen to kill people so he can get higher up in the crime ranks, and then he poisons the hitmen. This is the kind of Penguin that we're looking at. And I know some people are going to say, well, he's too skinny for the role. He is perfect for the role because this is the Penguin's origins. This is the Penguin's rise to power. You know, because, yes, traditionally the Penguin is very... he's a plus-size guy. You know, he's got weight to him that he throws around. And here's where I think that they're going with this. The Penguin is skinny at the start because he's hungry. He wants to climb the ladder. He wants to get the respect that he is due. You know, he wants to become a major force in Gotham's underworld. And this is his climbing to the top. And then once he gets to the top, he starts getting used to the finer things in life. You know, he can now afford to eat all of these great meals and stuff, and that becomes where he starts to put on weight and becomes looking more like the traditional Penguin that we think of when we think of Batman. Characters I don't care for. Fish Mooney. Fish Mooney is played by, I believe it's Will Smith's wife. I think that's who it is. Isn't it Jada Pinkett Smith? I think that's who it is who plays Fish Mooney. I don't care for the character. I don't really care for the character of Fish Mooney. She was never any big character to me in the comics. You know, I knew of her, and I don't care for Jada Pinkett Smith's performance as the character. She doesn't do, you know, she's just, I'm evil and a bitch. I'm going to take over the crime organization of Gotham. Aha. It's just, even whenever she gets angry, even whenever she has her outbursts, it just seems like she's delivering the same performance. And they focus so much on Fish Mooney. And like I said, I don't care for Fish Mooney whatsoever. And there are other characters, there are recurring characters. They have Falcone, they have Selena Kyle, Catwoman. They have a child actress playing Selena Kyle, and I think both of them do decent enough performances, but, we need to get on with this. So, here comes one of a lot of people's biggest complaints, and my biggest complaint. Too many of Batman's Rogues Gallery is too old in this series. What do I mean? Okay, at the time of this reporting, last Monday's episode, I read the introduction title. Basically, Bullock and Gordon are investigating this financial firm that their hiring policy is for guys to fight to the death. And the subplot, according to my cable provider's subplot, is that Bruce Wayne finds a new friend when he goes back to school. I thought, cool, this is Harvey Dent. No, it's just Bruce Wayne gets bullied when he first goes back to school. And this puts him on the path of him wanting to learn how to defend himself, how to learn hand-to-hand combat. And this is more setup of him becoming Batman. And the reason I thought it was first that the friend he was supposed to meet, and not this bully, was Harvey Dent, is because, once again, in most continuities, Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne are real-life best friends. And a lot of times, Bruce Wayne blames himself for Harvey Dent's disfigurement that turns him into Two-Face. So, you have that. I mean, they did it wonderfully in Batman the Animated Series. They really showed how haunted Bruce was by Harvey's change into Two-Face. But that didn't happen. Why? Because they showed a preview during the show for a future upcoming episode in which Jim Gordon meets Harvey Dent, in which Harvey Dent is a new assistant district attorney for Gotham City. So Harvey Dent is about the same age as Commissioner Gordon. Now, here's the deal. I think the age range is perfect for the Penguin because I think of the Penguin as an older man. I think of him as an older gentleman. If Batman is perpetually 30, I think of Penguin to be in his mid-40s. I thought they could get away with that. But no, one of the medical examiners for the city morgue is Edward Nygma. It's the Riddler. So the Riddler's in his 20s. So that means when Batman is in his 20s and starts off being Batman, the Riddler's going to be in his 40s. And then 2 weeks ago, they introduced Zsasz. And no fault to the actor playing Zsasz, he did a great job. He was Zsasz. He looked like Zsasz. He acted like Zsasz. And once again, this is another actor in his 20s, maybe early 30s. So once again, when Bruce Wayne becomes Batman in this continuity, Zsasz is another character who will be in his 40s or his 50s. So, you've already cut the knees out from some of these villains because if Batman's fighting if a young Batman is fighting a 50-year-old Zsasz, a 50-year-old Riddler, how is that going to be threatening? I mean, yes, I understand there are plenty of fit people in their 40s and 50s. They can still go, but they can't go as well as they can against somebody who's in their mid-20s who has trained their entire life in hand-to-hand combat and, parkour and everything that Batman does. You're talking about a contract killer like Zsasz, a professional hitman, a psychotic professional hitman like Zsasz, who, up until Batman shows up, is spending all of his time, once again, doing professional hits. He is becoming, he is killing people. He is becoming more beat up because, believe it or not, hitmen, they do get beat up from time to time. In real life, I've seen documentaries of real life hitmen. They say, our bodies get tore up because in order to do the hit, a lot of times they have to put themselves at risk. They have to do a lot of shit just to kill their target. So Zsasz is taking all that wear and tear, and so by 40 or 50, he's not going to get around quite as good as he used to. So naturally, of course, Batman's going to whoop his butt. Easy. So yeah, I do have an issue with those characters. Another interesting note, Renee Montoya is in this series. They have confirmed that Renee Montoya is a lesbian. I do appreciate those things because I enjoy Renee Montoya. I think she's a wonderful character. I think the actress who is playing her, that's another character I don't care for. The actress playing Renee Montoya comes off as this stuck-up jerk. All she does is she comes in, she insults Gordon. Even whenever it's proven that Gordon is a good guy, she still acts cold. She's like, oh, I should have trusted you, but I still won't. So she's really jerky. And it's like every scene that she's in with Gordon's wife, fiancée, Barbara, every time she's with Barbara, she is constantly, achingly trying to split up their relationship so that way Barbara can come back to Renee. Because that was one of the little spoilers with the series. Barbara, the future Barbara Gordon, Sr., I'll get into that in a second. Yeah, Barbara, Jim Gordon's fiancée, is bisexual. She had a relationship with Renee Montoya before she met Jim Gordon. Like I said, that being said, every time I see Montoya, all she's doing is insulting Jim, or she is trying to break up his relationship with Barbara, even after she's been proven wrong, even after it's shown that Jim Gordon is a good guy, even after she says, I trust you now, she's still doing it, and it's still turning Renee Montoya into an unlikable character. I do like that they gave her partner from Gotham Central. In Gotham Central, she has this one guy with her. He's a black guy with a shaved head. And they actually make him look like the character, like the actor they got to play him. They actually make him look like the character from Gotham Central. He even has his head shaved and even wears glasses and everything, and it's really cool. And I appreciate that. And they kind of had to, because they kind of shackled themselves whenever they made Gordon's partner Bullock, because for those of you that don't know, Montoya's first partner was Bullock. So, we'll see where things go. Like I said, there are some odd casting choices in here. Once again, there are a bunch of filler episodes that I really don't care for. Like I said, I knew it was going to fall into the standard police procedural where somebody kills people. Gordon and Bullock are on the case. Hell, we found this evidence. We know who it is. It's a vague reference to a Batman C or D-list villain. Like the Goat. The Goat is from Batman continuity. So is the Balloon Man. They're like I said, they're C and D-list Batman villains. Like, I'm waiting for guys like the Calendar Man to show up, because once again, that's another C-lister that you could easily throw in there. And the Calendar Man's another one that I could actually, I could say you could get away with, because the Calendar Man really wasn't a prominent fighter. He always looked like this older scrawny guy who just really wasn't all quite there, who always deserved to be in Arkham. So it has all this basis where it looks really good, but at the same time, my lingering question is, why couldn't we have Batman here? Why couldn't this be more like Batman Year One, where we don't have a child Bruce Wayne, we have Jim Gordon starting off on the police force, we have all of these villains showing up, basically all the exact same plots. It's just that instead of the child Bruce Wayne starting to get the skills to become Batman, he already has these skills and he's just starting out. Like, the first half of season 1 could have him running around wearing a ski mask and body armor like police riot gear, beating up thugs. And then, like, the big reveal, like the big mid-season finale could be, you know, the scene where he's sitting in his study and the bat flies over the moon, flies in front of the moonlight, and, you know, projects the big image of the bat over Bruce's study, you know, and that gives him the inspiration to be Batman. And then he just sort of, you know, starts working at Wayne Industries, building up everything to become, you know, start becoming, you know, building the suit, and that could be the second half of season 1 as he's building the suit. And then season 2 starts up, and then he starts interrupting, you know, he starts getting in the way and starts interrupting criminal investigations and capturing all of these criminals. Like, you know, season 2 we could bring back Zsasz, and Zsasz is once again trying to kill Gordon and Barbara, and then all of a sudden, you know, Batman jumps down and, you know, snatches Zsasz up and ties him up and just, you know, and Gordon's like, "Who are you?" "I'm Batman." You know, that's my biggest complaint with this is, why couldn't we have Batman here? He didn't have to be a main plot point, but the series would have been so much better if we could have had Batman, because those ages for certain villains, because you can tell they want to have these people in there. They want to have the recognizable Batman characters. And there is talk, I mean, and the rumor is that they are going to be doing the Joker's origins here too. Like, they're saying like that the Joker might be introduced here near the end of season 1, or if they get improved, Joker might be Joker's rise to becoming the Joker, you know, stop being Jack Napier and start becoming the Joker, might be coming into season 2 if they get approved for season 2. Which, I have a feeling they are going to approve it for season 2, because this is the highest rated drama Fox has had in years. Like, I think they said it's the highest rated drama Fox has had in like 5 years. So that's really telling you something. Like, I think they said that, like, Gotham has like the last show that had a rating as good as Gotham was probably 24. And how damn old is 24? Like, 24 and Prison Break were like the last ones that had ratings this damn high. So, ultimately, yes, I think it's a good show, but once again, very flawed. Stick around, guys. Soon enough, I'm going to be putting up my thoughts on The Flash. Man, there's a lot of superhero shows coming out lately.